All right, everybody, welcome to the newest episode of the Golden Attitude Era podcast. You got your favorite three-man booth again. We got the Stunning Stevie Scales and the Fassman down here. This week, we're going to give a special episode for you. We got a couple new little tricks up our sleeve, and we're going to have a guest ring announcer for our main event here. So before we get into all of that, I just wanted to take one quick second here and give a shout out to our girl, Grayson. We got the video from you. We're really glad you liked it. And to mom and dad, as always, we're always thinking about you. And if you guys ever need anything, reach out to us and hope you guys enjoy the show. So with that out of the way, again, Grayson, you're the truest G in the room. But now we got to move on to the main event here, which we're doing a King of the Ring tournament. And I'm going to give it over to the Stunning One to give a little bit better explanation of what we got planned for you.
Absolutely. Thanks, KBT. So we're switching things up this week a little bit. We're going to start with the main event. We'll get back to the Fast Man this week in wrestling history in our next bit. So this week, because it's June, we are in King of the Ring season. So that always brings us back good memories of King of the Ring pay-per-views when we were all younger, right? So
we all love King of the Ring.
We all do. It's just great. Love the tournament. Love brackets. We're all sports fans. We love that, right? So what we decided to do this week is that we are taking all of the King of the Ring champions from the first King of the Ring, which the first bunch was not televised. So we're starting in 1985, and we're going to go through. We decided to cut it off at 2006. There was some after that, but we're not going to. They weren't a big deal. So we're going to cut it off at 2006. So we have a nice span there of 16 King of the Ring champions, which is perfect for a bracket, right? Good round number of divisible of 4. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to share my screen with you guys, and I'm going to show you what we did. So bear with me one second, and as I share, let me know once you can see it. Can everybody see that? Good?
Yes.
Okay. So what the three of us did is that we compiled this list, right, of all these King of the Ring winners. And we decided to rank them from 1 through 16, with our own system. Maybe some of us had different reasons for ranking different guys, but we ranked them 1 through 16, with 1 being our favorite King of the Ring and 16 being our least favorite King of the Ring. So once we put in all those rankings, what we did was that we took an average rank, and I'm going to sort this so you can kind of see where we ended up. So where we ended up was, this is the rundown here. Bret Hart came in as our number 1 seed, followed by Stone Cold Steve Austin, the Macho King, Randy Savage, King Harley Race, Owen Hart, the next big thing, Brock Lesnar, Hunter Hearst Helmsley, Kurt Angle, and Booker T. Round out our top 9, and I'll tell you why we're stopping at 9. So our initial plan was to just do an 8 or 9 seeded bracket. And obviously we didn't know who would end up where, so we ranked all through 16. So what Kyle's going to do in our fantasy booking segment is start with that 8-9 matchup and then move forward from there. The 10 through 16s, which you can see here, we filled them in our bracket, but they're already losers, basically. It's going to just look like the higher seeds won, but that's just because of our ranking. That's who we picked. So as I unveil the bracket for this King of the Ring Champions tournament, you'll see the breakdown. Your standard 1 through 16, 8 through 9. If you played March Madness, you know what this looks like, right? So here's what the bracket looks like. And like I just said, we are already advancing our top 7, and the booking by KBT is going to start with the 8 through 9 matchup, and then move forward through their quarterfinals, semis, championship. And what we're going to do this week to kind of shake things up, like Kyle said, as Vince likes to say, when it's draft season in WWE, we'll shake things up a little bit here on this podcast. We're going to book a round, do a different segment, come back, book another round, maybe do another segment, come back, book the final. So we're going to sparse this thing throughout the show to keep everyone's interest and keep you guessing as to where the tournament is headed. So with that being said, I will throw it back to our tremendous host over there, Mr. KVT, $1,000 champ, to get us started here with our 8 versus 9 matchup of your Olympic hero, Kurt Angle, versus, well, what he was named by after he won the tournament that year was
King Booker.
Thank you, Fassman. You do it the best. All right, KVT, you want to get us started here, buddy?
Absolutely. Thank you for doing that little rundown. That was great.
Sure.
So as Steve said, we all kind of gave our little input there, and we ended up with this being the bracket moving forward. I'm gonna tell you, I fought hard for my boy Don Morocco, the first ever Intercontinental, or I'm sorry, King of the Ring champion, and also the 2-time Intercontinental champion, but the fellas weren't having it at all.
I showed him some love. I had him at number 5.
As you can see, he got bumped down to number 11. So I just wanted to point that out to the real historians out there that are probably scratching their head on that one. I'm there with you. But anyways, moving forward. No, I'm just kidding. I completely appreciate everything Booker T's done. That was just kind of an inside joke between the 3 of us. It was pretty funny when we were having our discussion about it.
Heated debate.
Yes. So anyways.
Many chairs are thrown.
No more inside baseball there. So to move on to the matchup, the 8-9, the play-in game per se, we got Angle, Kurt Angle, one of my favorites. Everything he did at certain points was funny, even when he wasn't trying to be funny. And versus Booker T and his wife, which I thought was really cool. That was real wife, Sharmell. Is that right, Sharmell? I'm pronouncing that right?
That's right.
Sharmell.
Yep.
She, her in the corner. So we get the entrance. Booker T does his whole little pinky thing, which I gotta give him credit for. That was great. It was awesome. So he does that whole entrance. Sharmell just being her pompous, like prissy, just I'm so awesome, which she was at that character. So it fit well. And they do their good entrance, you know. Then you get the you suck, but in a playful way, because in this setting, Kurt Angle's the baby face, and Booker T is going to be the heel, because what else could King Booker be but a heel, right? We've got the All-American Olympic hero versus Booker T. So as the match gets going, Angle, just like everybody else, you know, they all got their little gimmicks that they got to take off, and they hand it to the WWF official. And so as Angle turns to hand his gold to the WWF official, King Booker jumps him to get the upper hand, just like a heel would, right? You know, so Booker T goes on and beats up Angle for a few minutes, while always going back to the crowd like he would, and just doing this, you know, and just doing like that type of stuff, the healer stuff. Crowd's booing him. Sharmell's in front of him, just clapping, just playing him up, just how it always does. You know, then Booker continues to taunt. Then he just, but in between that, he's obviously beating up Kurt Angle, because he's not just going to let him do that, right? But he goes and he just taunts one too many times. And he gives Angle that one opening. And as Angle is the shifty wrestler that he is, good on the ground, he tries to get him with the roll up, right? Come underneath, trip him up. He gets a near 3 count. Doesn't quite get him. Crowd erupts, you know, first little thing he had. Then you know, standard. Booker T's not hurt at all. He just was caught off guard. So Angle and him, they trade blows till you know, right hand, upper, like, you know how they always do that. Angle gets the upper hand, ducks around, gets him behind the waist, and does his suplex. Does that a couple times, you know. And as he's doing that, he's getting fired up, and Booker T is just laying there like a rag doll. He can't do anything. He's been thrown across the ring 3 or 4 times, right? So you know what that means. The straps are coming off. Kurt Angle gets behind him, does his whole little spiel of flexing, gets him in the ankle lock. But that son of a gun, Sharmell, does what any good wife would do for their husband, or any queen would do for their king, right? Gets on the apron, distracts the referee, causing Kurt Angle to lose his mind, lets it go. Goes to break up, goes to get her off the apron, allowing Booker T to regain himself. He's having his back and forth. The ref's trying to push him away. He's trying to push her off. But as you know how it goes, once you turn your back, you're in a bad position. So here comes Booker T. But right as Booker T is about to get him, the training that he's been doing on the mat all these years, gets it. It's like a sixth sense, turns, sees him, ducks the hit, gets him with the Kurt Angle Olympic slam. Quick 1, 2, 3 for the victory. Nice. And we got Kurt Angle going on to the next round.
No problem there.
I like that. That was great booking there.
So no Spinneroonie though.
Dude, the king is dead.
He's down. He's hurt. Charmel is comforting.
Dead. Yeah, he's taking his little pinky, he's bent down a little bit, not so fancy, and just moving on. So now, as one of the things I wanted to do, I was talking with the fellas about during this, is I want to get their opinion on the match as fans, not so much critiquing all the booking aspects of it, but just as a fan. I'll start with the Fassman here.
No, I loved it. As a wrestling fan, based on the way you were going with that, I was able to mentally follow the match. It would be just like I was watching a pay-per-view. I can remember the entrances very well. King Booker doing his kingly stuff. Queen Charmel being this ain't PG, being the bitch that she was. I apologize out there, Podcast Nation, if anybody got offended by that.
Not safe for work.
Yeah. NSFW. Sorry, people. But Kurt Angle being the way he is, like the Olympic hero. Neither of them followed perfectly. I loved it. Good. The right guy won the match.
Good.
Sets up a great matchup between him and Bret Hart in the quarterfinals.
I know, right? That's really interesting to me.
The three eyes, right? Kurt Angle always had the three eyes, and you just used intelligence was the one that he used there to get the victory. And I think that was very Kurt Angle-like. I enjoyed that match. You did a great job painting that picture. I could see the whole thing in my head.
Good. See, as I said before, and there might be some times here, guys. I'm no Pat Patterson, RIP. I was actually just listening to some of his things, but as a fan, you sit here and you just think, like, what would I do? So I always try to just make things make sense and just kind of like realistic. Like, what can they actually do in the ring? Like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't want to put these people in, like, you would never see Booker T doing a moonsaw off the top rope. Well, you may, but it's not like realistically something you're going to see. Like, could he do it? Probably, but that's the way I go about doing it here. So
I like it.
No, I don't want to. I gotta let my boy Kurt Angle kind of breathe a little bit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We can't have him going up against the Hitman next right away, right?
Yeah.
So I'm thinking here, I think I'm gonna go opposite corner. You know, give him some time. I'm gonna go with the '96 champ and the '97 champ.
Oh wow!
Which is a pretty interesting little setup here in real life, as we all know. Austin got his break because of the curtain call, which Cord laid out for us a few weeks ago in This Week in Wrestling History. And then we got Triple H, who got punished because of the curtain call, who was supposed to win it, had to wait a whole entire year to come back and do it. Now, Austin, as I've explained, is one of my all-time favorite characters, but I gotta tell you what, this version, the Hunter, the actual like pompous, like how did you describe him earlier, Steve?
The Greenwich Blue Blood, you can call him.
Thank you, the Blue Blood. That's the word I was looking for. That character I loved. It was awesome. I thought that was fabulous. So I was pretty interested in this, and I'm gonna see if I can get another one over, or at least like not have everybody throwing anything in the ring. So with this one, I mean, you got to start out with Triple H doing his first entrance. You know, you got to get the people just like, I hate this guy. What is going on? Because he sits there, he does his little, and that type of stuff. Me as a fan, I love. So I know that got to people's skin as well. So we got him coming out and doing that as he comes out to the ring. I believe Chyna was with him at this point in time. She's just mean mugging, just flexing hard on people. You know, everybody's just looking at her like, what is this? You know what I mean? Like, where did this come from? Like, she was freak. She was awesome. Just a presence, you know, always had to worry about her on the outside. So we're doing all this type of stuff. They're doing all that type of stuff. They finally get to the ring, and then the glass breaks. And when the glass breaks, that's your ass, right? So he comes down, he's swearing, he's got his 316 vest on. I'm gonna say this. He's holding the smoking skull belt just at his hip, just like, I'm gonna get you, dude. As soon as he gets in the ring, tosses in, he slides in. He just starts. Austin comes out, guns blazing, right hand, Irish whip, loose that press, pound him in a little bit more, double middle fingers to the face as he's talking trash, and then he just hits the crowd with the double middle finger from the middle ropes, takes off his vest. This allows Triple H to get out of the ring in China. Now, mind you, as soon as the match has already started, I want to make that clear, right? So the match has already started. So Austin sees that he's out there getting help from his girl. So China pulls him out, lets him regroup, but Austin's right on his heels, right there, goes to attacking him outside the guardrail, throws him over the guardrail. As he's going over the guardrail, here comes China, interfering like she always does, right? And then the two of them just boom, boom, boom. The ref comes out. Now, in these days, it was the Attitude Era type of days. The ref really didn't hold a stern 10 count. It was, let me break you up, 10 count, and then start the 10 count. So that's kind of what's happening out here during this melee. Once the 10 count kind of starts, China and Triple H throw Austin in the ring. And Triple H just goes ahead. He does his standard kicks in the rope. And he's just working the lower body and all that type of stuff, making it hard because Austin's got the one bum leg, all that type, just working the injury points. And then they start double teaming him again. But Austin has a backup plan, right? Austin has the $1 million man in his back pocket who just got beat by Triple H in the previous round.
Nice.
And China had a hand in that and screwed him. So he goes, I'm not going to let my protege, who was named what, Scales? What was Austin named?
Stunning Steve Austin? What are you talking about? Or the Ringmaster.
Ringmaster.
I was ready to jump in there. I thought you were stumped.
So we got Ted DiBiase. I never stumped. We got Ted DiBiase coming down because he's now been screwed by these two, and he's not going to let his people do it. So Ted comes down, rips China off, throws a steel chair in the ring. Austin hits Triple H with the steel chair. Then Austin kind of picks him up, hits him with the stunner, and then you got Earl Hebner coming over with a fast 1, 2, 3 count because Earl was very noticeable with a fast 3 count, in my opinion.
Unless he was knocked out, then he was like the slowest 3 count in history when he was getting revived. So he had both the fastest and the slowest.
Yep. So I know that was kind of a little fast and a lot of things happening, but that's pretty much what an Austin match was. Yep. It was, I'm going to come out. You got to cheat to get the upper hand or do something dashly to get the upper hand on me, or else I'm untouchable. So I got Triple H going down in a very, very fast-paced, energetic, crazy, a lot of stuff in there at once type of schmaz, I guess, match. And bringing out some old roots in the old Steve Austin character.
I like that. I like what you did there with DiBiase. That was I didn't predict that was going to happen, so I love that. That was perfect.
Yeah, there was a point there where it just kind of felt like, oh man, it's screwed, and now what's going to happen? You know what I mean? Is he actually going to go with Triple H? But
that's what I thought. I thought that for a second there. It sounded like you were going that way.
No, can't always the rattlesnake, man. He's always got something, man. Whether it's a beer truck or a cement truck or an old manager.
Yep.
Got anything. He's got it all. So
Austin moves on to the semifinals.
Yeah. Now where do we want to go? Pick a place on the map, Corey, other than Angle and Bret.
Owen, Harley.
Oh, nice.
Owen and Harley. Now, guys, this has been the one I have not wanted to book. Okay. I cannot tell you how much I have not wanted to book this match.
Who were you thinking was going to get upset then?
I'm going to get into it. These two are like, I love these two. Like, I can watch any match that they're in, and it's just like awesome. Harley Race is more is more old school. Not a lot of people would really like his style, right? I'm explaining this because a lot of people may not have ever seen Harley Race wrestle because it was more 60s, 70s, 80s, somewhat in the 90s, but very, very bad, a very, very bad interpretation of what he was, right? So in this one, we're going to have Owen Hart coming out, and he's just going to do his thing. He's going to start jumping all around, as Harley Race is more of a methodical, slow guy. So he's going to try to use his speed to his advantage. We got Harley Race trying to do his standard Irish whip. Owen Hart does one of his patented leapfrogs over Harley when he tries to set him up for the backdrop and gets the upper hand and hits him with a drop kick. Harley does his patented arms out, flail out to the ring. Owen Hart runs up to the top rope, jumps out. Harley, as only Harley can do, as you've ever watched a Ric Flair fight before with him, catches the body drop off the top, takes a bump outside, which he would have done back in his heyday, but it's the King of the Ring tournament, the best of the best, so he's taking everything that he can. Then Harley gets the one cheap shot that he needed, the uppercut to the groin on the outside, rolls old Owen Hart in there, beats him up with the old ground and pound with that strong right hand, hits him a couple times, gets him grounded, goes up to the top rope, hits him with his patented falling headbutt to the ground, and then Owen Hart, unfortunately, gets defeated by the old 1, 2, 3 count with the falling headbutt off the top rope. Tough one for me to do, but I just picture Harley Race just beating up a little boy, the old man beating up a little boy when it comes to Owen Hart and Harley Race.
The master beating the student.
That's kind of what I'm seeing here with that one. And while we're doing this, I do just always want to remind people to go to our social media pages. You can get them at Facebook at the Golden Attitude Era podcast. You can also go to TikTok and it's at the Golden Attitude Era. You find the podcast itself on YouTube at the Golden Attitude Era podcast. And with that, we're going to move on to the next match, which is going to be Brock Lesnar versus Macho Man. Ooh, yeah, Randy Savage. As you know, Macho Man's iconic. He's got all the gimmick going. He's got the robe. He's got the crown, because I believe he was the Macho King when he won the King of the Ring. Guys, correct me if I'm right or wrong.
Yep, that's when he got crowned.
Okay. He had. Oh yes, that's right. So he did not have the gimmick yet. So oh no, he did. He did. Now he does.
Now
this one he does. Yeah. Because he is the king. So we got him coming down with pomp and circumstance, doing the whole 9 yards, getting up on the second rope as he's notorious to do, and doing the whole little finger wag, and got Sensational Sherry, now known as Queen Sherry, down on the outside, just pumping up her man, propping him up like that. And then you have Brock Lesnar coming out. And what I love his beginning of his music, the like when that hits it, it's like, oh, it's sick. You know what I mean? Like, here comes the pain, as they said back in the day, right? I think they even made a whole video game about him. So that's the Brock Lesnar we got coming out, with Paul Heyman doing the ECW Paul Heyman as if he's the promoter. I feel like he should have had a cell phone in his hand instead of like a rolled up paper that he was carrying around. And they come marching down the ring. Lesnar is on all the steroids at this point in time. So he is looking jacked to the gills, right? Like, why would you even want to get into this ring with him right now? But, you know, it's the Macho Man, and the Macho Man isn't afraid of anybody. As you know, he was part of the Mega Powers, and he also made the Mega Powers explode. So those are the type of personalities we got. A bull for somebody that just doesn't know better. He thinks he's bigger than what he actually is, and he's going to kick everything head on, right? So the bell rings, just as you would think. Macho Man looks at him, and they meet, lock up, dead in the ring. And then you just have Brock Lesnar slowly push Macho Man into the ring corner. And as Lesnar kind of does the whole little pushback, he's giving that smirk look like, yeah, you got no shot. He comes over, swings to the right, as he does it, Macho Man being the veteran, ducks underneath and just starts drilling him with right hands, kind of pelting him to the point where Lesnar's like get caught off guard, getting down, kind of crouched down. Macho Man gets to the second rope, starts drilling him again, but that allows Lesnar to come up, scoop him, take 2 steps out, power bomb him right in the middle of the ring for the fast, easy win. 1, 2, 3.
Oh man,
Macho Man.
Wow.
what a
Yes,
shocker!
Squash match.
The next big thing has arrived officially.
Wow, damn.
That's what the Macho Man gets for thinking he can go up against a guy like that head on. It's similar to a fate, but not as violent as what he ran into the Hulkster when they fought each other.
Yeah, he's never faced anyone like Lesnar before. Not
Exactly.
not in that caliber.
Lesnar is a freak.
So you had a squash match. It's like Lesnar beating Cena at SummerSlam.
Oh yeah, this
Like
was
it.
even quicker.
That's a good connection.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I would never have thought
That
about
was the most painful, torturous match that I've ever seen. It was like, oh God, just
Yeah.
stop it.
Lesnar's an animal. Steve, what did you think about the squash match?
I mean,
I agree with you.
I was rooting for Savage. I'm a Savage
ya?
fan. Yeah.
Oh shoot! I didn't even know that. I'm sorry. Oh, I didn't remember that. I knew that.
Yeah, I'm a Savage guy.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's not hard to see that happening at all. Booking wise, Lesnar is, as a fan, when watching Lesnar in 02, it's like, come on, this guy's going. He's the next big thing. They called him that for a reason, right? He's going to the top. So for him to beat Savage, it's upsetting for me because I'm a Savage fan, like I said. But I like what you did. I could see that happening.
Yep.
And guys, don't worry. He ran through Morocco just as bad too.
Okay, good.
Morocco didn't put up too much of a fight. Morocco's big, but he can't turn his head too well, and he's slow, not as agile. So, yeah, unfortunately, we all like the Macho Man, but sometimes it's just not your day, and the better man wins. And this one was a clear cut winner. Maybe 2-3 minutes. Maybe Macho Man gets a little bit more in, but I don't see anything other than that.
Damn.
Now, honestly, we're gonna move over to a match here that I feel like the three of us would be in agreement on this, and this might be the first time in the Golden Attitude Era podcast history that the three of us have all agreed on something.
About time.
This could very easily be the championship match here instead of a 1-8.
Absolutely, it could have been.
For sure.
These two, when I was booking this, guys, I just saw this, man. Like, I see them both just coming out and it just being like a catch as catch can type match. You know what I mean? Just on the ground a lot, and almost at points turning into a submission match. So you got these two heavyweights that are just at the top of their game. When Bret Hart was at the top of his game, he could go in there and make anybody look good. He's got that one infamous match with Tommy McGee where he almost made Vince McMahon think he was going to be the next Hulk Hogan or something. So that's how good he is. And I don't even need to get into credentials. I already did that with Kurt Angle in the previous Booker T match.
Yep.
So as you could think, like, they come out, they just lock up. They're testing each other. They're going back and forth and all this type of things like that. And they're like I said, they're both going from behind, getting each other in toe holds, throwing each other off the ropes, doing a leapfrog, arm drag, those type of moves, just back and forth. And they're kind of getting up, and there's even probably a point where they both just kind of sit there. And Bret did this a couple times. I think he did it once against Perfect. We just kind of sat on his knees. They all just kind of looked at each other like, ugh. And like the crowds erupted and everything, and they kind of give them like that, we got him, and then they get right back into it. So like I said, I see that just going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. But then Bret goes on his little run there where he just he gets you with the short right, gets you in the turnbuckle, kind of gets you all droggy, gets behind you, does the bulldog off the second rope, I believe it was. Am I right with that one? The second rope.
Yep.
And then he's got him down. He's got him down for the ankle lock, or not the ankle lock, excuse me, the sharpshooter. Not a Freudian slip, I promise, or is it? And then you just have Hart just beating him up. And it's surprising everybody, to be quite honest with you. He's got him by the leg. He's doing his like kind of heelish stomps that he used to do. And then he's just taking care of his legs and beating up his back. And Angle, just being the wrestler that he is, catches him as he's doing all that type of stuff and gets his little run going. And like I told you, just back and forth, back and forth. I can't really build it up. It's just something that and this is kind of the idea of like why wrestling is the art it is. You can say what type of match it would be, but until you actually see the two athletes in the ring doing it, you can't understand what the art is, right? So as much as I go back and forth and try to describe it, I'm not going to do what these two guys could have done in the ring justice. So I just wanted to give you a short synopsis of what I'm looking at. And to get into how I would end the match is I would have Bret Hart being able to reverse one of Angle's ankle locks. And then after, so he's in the ankle lock and he does the old roll over, kind of pop out, kick him off, and he kicks him into a turnbuckle. During the match, the turnbuckle had been removed because of the old heel coming out in Bret Hart when he was in Canada, right?
Right.
Remember, this is a little foreshadowing, but this is all future, everything that's after the King of the Ring, right? So he's starting to do those type of things. He whips Angle in there. Angle takes the old chest bump like Bret Hart does, falls to the ground, gets tied up in the the sharpshooter. I'm getting my submission mixed up here. The sharpshooter, and Angle eventually taps out after a good hard fight, and after getting beat up for about 7 to 10 minutes, just getting wear and tear on the back, just like the accidents of execution would, and like he only could, and drilled into that and got the win over the old Olympic champ. It's true. The Hitman advances.
Yes. I'm so excited. I mean, that's a classic. That's one of like true wrestling fans' dream matches that never happened, right? Bret Hart with Kurt Angle.
And it could have, like I swear to you, if Bret Hart didn't get hurt against Lesnar, just didn't have all that stuff going on.
I mean, Goldberg, sure,
excuse me, yeah.
You think he would have came back?
I guarantee you, Bret would have been wrestling like Ric Flair was.
Yeah.
He's like that, dude.
I would have loved that.
He would have done something like that, and eventually he would have came back around. You tell me if WCW goes out of business and Bret Hart wants to wrestle, there's no way that they can come back together.
I would have.
But that's another time. Yeah. Fassman, what you think about that?
Sorry, I got a little distracted. Say that one more time.
What did you think about the Angle Hart match?
I loved it. I thought that could have been a match that compared to the feud that Angle had with Benoit. Two mat technicians, technical wrestlers. Obviously, Benoit is a little bit stronger than Bret, a little bit bulkier, but old school versus new age. That could have actually worked out perfectly with the angle where, like you mentioned, Bret hating America. Instead of it being with Austin, it could have been with, if it was in a different era, could have been with Angle.
Yeah.
Angle, the ultimate American.
Definitely. Well, and again, I just want to say this one more time about that one. I know that I knew going into it I was going to have a tough time even doing any type of justice to the match because, again, half the reason why we watch it is because of the in-ring, what they do. You can lay it out there all the time, but you got to be able to do it in the ring and be able to see it. It's just the magic that's inside the squared circle. So if there's any fans out there that don't like my booking of it, it was kind of choppy. It's tough to kind of do it justice. So
you did a good job.
Deal with it.
We got our semifinals.
And if you have any problem with that, meet me in a back alley. I'll give you a few knife-edged chops. That'll change your mind.
Oh boy. Look out.
All right. So Fassman's getting out of control here. So what we're going to do is we're going to give him his fix and everybody else their fix. And we're going to do This Week in Wrestling History with the Fassman.
Right. Thank you there. Thank you there, champ. You're almost back to that $1,000 mark that you gave yourself in week 1. What we're going to do now, ladies and gentlemen, is we're going to take a little break from the King of the Ring tournament, which we're all thoroughly enjoying, thanks to the champ here. And we're going to get back to what we normally do every week in our This Week in Wrestling History. So this week, what we're going to be talking about is stuff from the week of June 7th through June 13th. Some fun things that I found to start off, ladies and gentlemen, is I found some birthdays, some that took place in our, based on the era that we talk about. First one I found, we all know and love him. The man of many hats in wrestling, Mick Foley.
Bang, bang.
We all know and love him. Mr. Cactus Jack, Mr. Dude Love, Mr. Mankind, Mama's baby boy, Mick Foley. And if there's any names I'm leaving out, please help me out here. He was born on June 7th, 1965. And we all know and love him. Glad the man ever finally won the belt, the big belt. Took all of DX beating up on the corporate ministry to finally help him get it done over The Rock. Or was it just the corporation? It was just the corporation, I think, right?
When he won the title?
Yeah, when he beat The Rock.
Yeah, he beat The Rock. That's when Austin came down, right? And the
Yeah,
corporation was
in
out
Worcester.
there and DX was out there. Yeah.
That was the night, and people remember, that was the night that Eric Bischoff on Nitro, which was live, and Raw was not, gave out the results. Well, many people feel that started to change the tide in the Monday Night Wars, because he basically gave Raw the win that night on a taped show.
Yeah, that's true. How old did you say Mick Foley was?
He was born in 65.
Okay, so how old does that make him? That makes him 35 plus
56.
56,
Wow.
yeah.
Happy
If he
birthday,
wasn't so
Mick.
busted up, he could have still been going today. I mean, shit,
Happy birthday,
wrestling's
Mick.
still going.
Anybody else you find? Any
Yeah.
other cool birthdays?
Yep. Mark Henry, Sexual Chocolate. Mark Henry,
Mhm.
born on June 12th.
I love that music
1971.
when he was coming out with that music. That was awesome.
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
Sexual baby.
Yep.
Sexual Chocolate, Mark Henry. And the world's strongest man.
That was a good
born
gimmick,
on,
too.
what was that?
That was a good gimmick, too.
Yep. He was born on June 12th, 1971. And then here's one from ECW days. You know how I always love to sprinkle in a little ECW action into our shows. Jerry Lynn. People might remember him from old ECW days from the bingo hall in South Philly. Kyle and I, we've been there to the bingo hall. That was a good night when we went there. He was born on June 12th as well in 1963. So just a couple years before the mixture. So those were some, just every once in a while I'll throw a couple birthdays in there just to shake things up a little bit. So a couple things that I found very interesting from this week, ladies and gentlemen. One was an interesting way that they continued the Austin McMahon angle, because everybody remembers how Austin and McMahon had that feud going through 98 and 99. People forget that the Undertaker was harassing Vince and his family with the teddy bear, kidnapping Stephanie, trying to sacrifice her to the higher power, and Austin saving Stephanie and all that. But no one actually knew who the higher power was. So remember on that June 7th of 1999 Monday Night Raw, they had the corporate ministry in the ring. They had Shane, Undertaker, the APA, Midian, Viscera, all them. I'm sure I'm leaving out names, but those are the names that came off the top of my head. And Vince was doing a vignette in the back. So everybody thought it was live. So they were doing some back and forth shtick with him and Shane. And Vince said it's time for the higher power to reveal himself. No one thought it was Vince. Undertaker and Shane lift up the mask, up the hood. And either of you can come off mute to give the phrase. What did Vince say?
You want to?
I'll let you do it.
Go ahead, Steve.
It was me, Austin. It was me all along.
There you go. And then he goes and says he had everybody fooled, even in his entire family. So what happens next? You have Linda and Stephanie come out, and then Vince gets all mushy. He's like trying to tell him that he didn't mean to do it, that Austin made him do it, and that then Linda and Stephanie sold their, because there's 4 equal shares in the company between Vince, Shane, Linda, and Stephanie. They sold their 25% shares, totaling 50%. Good math right there, I know. To who else but
Austin.
Stone Cold Steve Austin. So because Austin had 50% and Vince and Shane only had 25%, Stone Cold now had control of the company. So, which we would see in I think the next week's episode of Monday Night Raw. You had Stone Cold like running amok of the entire of Titan Towers. First he's with the receptionist up front, getting her to change her tone and the way she speaks to people calling in. And then you had a corporate meeting where he's firing people and making the mailroom clerk head of something.
All this
big.
on the same Raw?
No, the next episode of Raw.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, sorry. I think I mentioned that. And then, like you said, he then goes through the accounting department, and he takes away Shane's pay and make that the beer budget. Gives more money to Mick Foley to pay for his medical bills, and then at the end he dumps like 50 pounds of cow shit. Sorry, not safe for work. All over Vince's office. Pours beer on it, and obviously that leads to at the 99 King of the Ring, which will get leads to a ladder match between him and Vince and Shane, which we all know at the end of the day, which I'm still trying to figure out who raised the briefcase on Austin. I still to this day don't know.
We'll never
but
know.
Vince and Shane won. And then that was the end of that. And then also in 93, June 13th, the one King of the Ring that we all know and love, you had Bret Hart beating Bam Bam Bigelow and then getting attacked by Jerry Lawler to start that feud, the King Jerry Lawler. And then you had to end the pay-per-view, you had Yokozuna at the time retiring Hulk Hogan by beating him for the WWF, not WWE at the time, WWF title.
Thank you.
Yep. So, but this is something that people always ask. Who was that masked man that shot the fireball from the camera in Hogan's face? Who was it?
Bruno.
Kyle?
Bruno.
But do people know who Bruno was in WWF, though?
But do you know who Bruno was in WWF?
I found out from you guys, but
Thank you.
I found out from YouTube, but do the humanoids?
Harvey Whiffleman.
There you go, humanoids. Shout out to my buddy there, Bobby the Brain. May he rest in peace. It was Harvey Whippleman. Where's he? No, it's Gorilla Monsoon. I gotta go check on Flair. He needs me.
There you go.
So, what do you remember about that King of the Ring there, Steve or Kyle?
So, do you remember? I mean, we know the fireball happened, but do you remember the last move that Yokozuna did on Hogan?
Leg drop.
The leg drop, right? How fitting was that?
Yep.
Yeah.
And then
it's a ham hock right there.
What did he do to Hogan after the match?
Did he bonsai drop him in the corner?
Went like this.
How many times did he bonsai drop him?
I don't know.
4 or 5.
I was gonna say 3, 2, 2 drops.
He ain't no Duggan.
Yeah.
And then what do you remember what Heenan was screaming as Hogan was leaving the ring?
Hulkamania is dead. Yes, Hulkamania is dead.
Bingo. Well done, champ. You just That was the bonus that he's got you back to your $1,000
Oh.
champ now.
Guys, I play stupid sometimes. I know what the hell happened.
That was one of Heenan's favorite lines. He said that
Yep,
when
he
Undertaker
finally
beat him
could
too.
gloat. He couldn't
I
kill
know,
him.
he did.
He couldn't kill Hulkamania with the family, with Flair. In fact, Flair never went against Hogan except on house shows in WWF.
Yeah.
But he was thrilled when Hogan finally was dead.
Yep, that was good. That was good. That was good. I like that.
And with that, that's this week in wrestling history, ladies and gentlemen. And what we'll do right now is get it back to ringside for the first of 2 semifinal matches.
Yep. So, thank you again, Fassman. What we'll do here is we'll get into the Austin and Lesnar match, and then we'll get into the Hart versus Harley race match. So,
2 excellent semifinals coming up.
Yep. With this one, we have Austin. He's still kind of feeling it a little bit after his little battle with Triple H. Lesnar, not so much. He had kind of a walkthrough, so he's got full energy. So as you can picture, Lesnar getting the upper hand quite easily. Just started hit him with a couple kicks, hit him with a couple forearms to the neck until he beat Austin down to the ground. As you know, Austin never wanted to stay down. He's just crawling to the ropes. As he's crawling, pulling himself up on the ropes, Lesnar comes up with one of those big leather boots right to the face, kicks Austin outside. Austin's now just laying there, as only Austin can do. That was one thing Austin was awesome at. He's sold like nobody else.
Definitely.
Lesnar, being the young, foolish, eager powerhouse that he was, follows him out to the ring. Has just listening to Heyman telling him what to do. Heyman's telling him, throw him into the wall, throw him into here. So he throws Austin in the wall once, throws Austin into the side of the ring a couple times. Next thing you know, he goes to throw him into the steel post. Austin does the old whoopsie-doozy, turns it into Lesnar. Lesnar, forehead right onto the post. He's bleeding like a stuffed pig. And when the rattlesnake sees blood, he jumps on like nobody's business. You just see him boom, boom outside, takes one of the cords that there, only like Austin can do. Similar to what he did, I think, WrestleMania 13 against Hart. Wraps him up, yoking him with the rope, lets him down there. Ref comes out.
I like that. Good reference.
Yelling, screaming. They all go back inside. Quick little break. Austin goes in, brings it back in. Austin just continued stomping a mud hole in him, just doing everything Austin does. But Lesnar, being the beast that he is, fights back, comes back. So now you got 2 worn out people, just born like 2 studs of wrestlers, just people you can't stop, just wailing on each other. But eventually, Austin gets the upper hand after Lesnar tries to duck and get him with the F5. Austin ducks the kick to the side, kind of pushes to the side, spins him around, hits him with his kick, drops him with the stunner, and go for the 1, 2, up right before 3. Austin's going nuts. Now you got freaking Austin red. He just starts drilling him, everything he's got, getting on him again, lifts him up, throws him in the corner, gets him against the thing. He's using the ropes as leverage. I mean, this is just Austin going crazy. Sets him back up again, hits him with another stunner, gets the 1, 2, 3 on Brock Lesnar, and he advances to the finals.
Yes, awesome.
Paul Heyman's out there losing his crap, yelling, no, like he does. It was just.
I can visualize Heyman screaming too.
Yeah.
Austin's beat up. He looks like he just got done. Honestly, he's walking out there similar to when he broke his neck at that thing. He's limping like that. Not as bad, but he's limping and hurting just visually just as much.
I love it. I love that. That was
well done. I like it too.
A great match. Great story there too, because we know the Lesnar and Austin history. So I'm glad we got to finally see that play out in our fantasy land.
Yep. Well, in real life, that probably was going to be a different outcome based off what we heard.
Yeah.
But it just wasn't supposed to be at that time.
Right. But I'm glad Austin won this one, whether it was real or not.
Now we got Hart versus Harley race. These are 2 wrestlers from an old school mindset. And They locked up in the middle of the ring with the younger man, Bret Hart, getting the upper hand, eventually getting a reverse wrist lock on the old dog, Harley Race, right? Hart, just being the methodical workman that he is, breaks Race down to the ground with by giving him a couple kicks to the knees while maintaining the wrist lock, so he's always in control. Now he's got Harley back on the stomach. He just kind of methodically does a couple different transitions from the wrist lock to leg lock, a couple different things to break down Harley Race's legs and his lower back. But eventually, he gets his way up to the head and gets Harley Race in a headlock. But I don't know if that was the greatest decision, because that eventually allowed Harley Race to move to his knees and get a stronger base and eventually skid to his feet, where he was able to kind of push off Bret Hart and kind of bump him. You know, they do one of those bumps. And then once they kind of hit, Harley fell down because he's more worn out person. But that hit allows him to powder out of the ring, right? And kind of regroup and get himself together. But little does he know that the Bret Hart's not going to let him do that. He's just following him right outside the ring. And Harley Race sees it last second, runs around the steps, gets back side in the ring, stands up before Bret Hart can get up to his base, gives him one of the old veteran eye pokes. And now the tables have turned because Bret Hart is now blind for a second. Race has the upper hand. He goes to work with punches and kicks until Hart is flat on his back in the middle of the ring. Hits him with a couple more, gives him an elbow, a knee, like the emphasized knee that he would do. It's kind of looking like the swan kick that you saw in Karate Kid, and he drills it right down. You would see, kind of give a favorite reference, Ric Flair do a similar type of knee. He obviously got it from Harley Race. But after a couple minutes of just pure beat down of Bret Hart, Harley Race feels like he's finally got the upper hand. So he goes up to do his finish. Goes to the top rope, jumps off, performs his finisher for Bret Hart, to have Bret Hart only move out of the way at the last second and regain the upper hand. Hart then has his comeback that leads to the sharpshooter being applied for the victory. And we got the matchup that everybody loves to see and nobody has ever complained about. Stone Cold Steve Austin versus Bret the Hitman Hart.
I was thinking that we were going to
finals.
I was thinking that we were going to see an upset or two along the way, leading to the title match, the King of the Ring finals, like we do with March Madness.
Oh, there was one here, 6-3.
Can you really call that an upset, though?
I mean, seed wise, the way you're saying it, sure. Yeah.
Seed wise, yeah, but.
Hey,
what did you think about the Harley Race and Bret Hart match, though?
I was thinking that you were going to find a way to. I could have seen Harley Race winning the match and then setting it up like old school Harley Race badass, Steve Austin new school badass. Old versus new.
I'm excited about this championship.
Oh, me too.
I think there are 1 and 2 seeds for a reason, right? These are our two favorite King of the Ring.
And they were that close in our rankings as well.
Right, exactly.
I had Hart 2. You guys had Hart 1.
Yeah, right here. Me and Kyle had Bret 1. You had him 2, and we had Austin 2, and you had him 1. So
yep,
those are our top 2 guys. So I'm gonna be excited to see who takes the crown as the true King of the Ring.
Okay, so just like any good King of the Ring championship or any good pay-per-view, you always have your special guest. But before we get to that, I'm going to have Steve give a little wrap-up and let him do the honors.
Yeah, so before we get into this championship, we're going to have a special guest join us in a second here. And this guy is one of my best friends from my college days, and a big wrestling fan, just like us. Grew up, he was born the same year I was, 85, so grew up 80s, early 90s. He'll tell us about that when he comes in. My buddy Steve Castagna, I'm going to let him in here, and he's going to join us, be our first guest on the Golden Attitude Era podcast. It's the drum roll. There he is.
There it is.
What's up, guys?
Welcome.
Who's
welcome.
Who's this jabroni that we bring on the show?
I'm known as the Great One, actually.
Oh, there you
Oh gosh.
You just look like a jabroni to me.
Hey, listen, there's no credit for some people. But yeah, Fassman, $1,000 champ, Stunning One. Thanks for having me on. Glad to be
Appreciate you.
Welcome.
Welcome.
Appreciate
Welcome
you coming
aboard.
on.
Welcome
We've been
aboard, sir.
trying to get people to come on all along. We're glad you were willing to do it.
Well, it's my pleasure. I love watching what you guys do. I've been watching from the beginning, so looking
Nice.
forward to be a part of this
Good
and
to
to
hear.
see what you do from here on.
Awesome.
Good to hear.
So let's hear a little bit about, I guess, how you became a wrestling fan, Steve. That's how we started our first episode, because I think that's what the fans like to hear, how we got into
Yeah.
wrestling and some of your early childhood memories.
So I started watching wrestling probably when I was maybe like 4 years old. It was just on TV, and there was some kind of allure to it. And I was born in the mid 80s. So by the late 80s, when I was like 3 or 4 years old, wrestling had crossed over. It was part of, becoming part of pop culture. And I was a huge Hulkamaniac, loved Hulk Hogan, and just loved wrestling as a kid, like play the video games, watch pay-per-views when they were on, like when I had a concept of whatever that was. But I used to love going to the video store, your old mom and pop style video stores, and just renting whatever I could find, pretty much.
Shout out
with
Blockbuster.
caveat. No, it wasn't a Blockbuster. Yeah, it was like pre-Blockbuster. Then, eventually, started getting stuff from there. But the caveat was, if I knew or if I'd heard that Hulk Hogan lost on one of those pay-per-views, wouldn't watch it.
Nah, we want to see that.
Yeah, who wants to see my favorite guy lose? So then I watched as time went on, and then eventually WWF started losing some of their talent to go to WCW and whatnot, and I fell off. I stopped watching early mid 90s. I think the last thing that I remember watching was Bam Bam and Lawrence Taylor fight in that pay-per-view.
At 95, WrestleMania 11.
Yeah, and by that point, I wasn't really watching consistently, just every now and then. But this it's a little bit of a shark jumping moment for me. So, so I kind of fell off for a little bit, and then wrestling was more or less off my radar until N64 came out, and WCW, the first WCW game. What was it?
World Tour. Yeah, great game.
Yeah, so it was a great game.
Was.
Like, okay, so wrestling is like kind of on my radar again, but as far as I knew, WCW was the thing.
Yep.
But I still wasn't watching it. I never got into WCW, really. Like I knew a bunch of the guys,
Yep.
but didn't really watch the matches. Like something
Me
about
too.
the way it came off, it was always just like kind of corny, or it's like,
Second rate.
yes, there's always something about it. No matter how good the guys were, like, you had guys who had good matches, guys with
Absolutely.
good. There was just something about the broadcast just never did it for me.
Yep.
With you.
So then fast forward, now it's like late 90s, like I think 98. I remember being in baseball camp, and some of the guys were talking about it. And specifically, it was after Fully Loaded, and one of the guys was talking about Sable, and like I had never.
Yeah.
Oh, the
I
Boogaloo.
know, yeah,
I have that on
I know anything.
VHS.
Nice.
I have that on VHS.
Nice.
Yeah, so did I. I got it from.
Sure
that
you do,
video
Kyle.
store
I do.
closed. Yeah, so like that kind of put it on my radar, and then we had a PlayStation where we used to get like that was at the time you could get like bootleg games, burnt games, and we got what was it, WWF Warzone had just come out.
Yep.
And I remember thinking, I was like, I thought WWF was lame, like nobody's really watching it now, and the game wasn't really that great, but I got sucked into it, because we had only had a few games, and that's when I started gaining a little more exposure. And then one of my friends was over, and we had like a hot box or a hot satellite or something.
Yep.
And I think SummerSlam was on, and he wanted to watch it, so we're watching, and I kind of got sucked back into it. I was like, oh yeah, you watch, you root for the good guys, you're going for the baby face, not the heel. But I remember at that point, Triple H was the face, and I was, hoping that he won just because he was the guy. And I was like, I don't really like this guy. And he was facing the Rock. Like, this guy seems a little cooler.
Yeah.
And then just got completely sucked in for 2 years, was totally obsessed. Like 98, 99, 2000, every Monday I was watching Raw no matter what. And if I wasn't home to watch it, I set up a VCR, taped it.
Nice.
Every, like few friends and I were just obsessed. Like it's all I thought about for about 2 years straight. And then, again, it started to, once they came, that was still the Attitude Era, right?
Yep.
Around the end of 2000. But I feel like it was a little less edgy by the point I stopped watching it.
Yeah.
And plus, I just like, I didn't want to dedicate that time anymore. Like I was, 15, that was, ready to start like going out more. Like, and
I think that was right when like the mom and dads and like the HLN shows and everybody started like talking about like parental advisory and all that type of thing. And all that. And I think that's what changed the game when it came to that.
Yeah.
Like kind of toning it down.
When you got back into it, 98, 99, 2000, did you get into Nitro at all during the Monday Night Wars? Were you like changing channels at all or keeping your eye on it?
I never followed it.
Yeah.
I remember a few times I tried, because I think, so Raw was 2 hours. Was Nitro 3 hours, or did it start an hour earlier?
At the end,
Yeah.
it became 3 hours, but there was
so at that time, I remember there were a couple of weeks where I was like, let me watch, an extra, it's wrestling. How bad could it be? And I put it on for the first hour. And I think I did it twice, and I never got through a full hour either time. I was like, all right, I'll just wait till Raw's on and watch that.
All right, you're loyal to.
And I remember watching, what is their January pay-per-view?
WCW sold
Royal
out.
Rumble.
So no, WCW.
We're talking WCW.
Sold out. It was sold out. Yeah.
So I remember watching Sold Out one time. We were away for a weekend, my friends and I, friends and family, and there was that pay-per-view that was going on. And I think every single match ended in interference or something. And I was like,
I know which one you're talking about. It was probably like one of the first, what was all like NWO themed, and there was just shenanigans.
Yep.
Yeah, this was 2000 or 99.
Might have been 99. Yeah.
Probably 99. I think there was a stun gun with Goldberg, and I don't know.
No, that was Starrcade.
That was Starrcade. Yeah.
That was Starrcade when Nash beat Goldberg for the belt.
Would have been right before that. Would have been December 98. So you're probably January 99 is probably the right time frame. Yeah.
Yeah, somewhere in there. It just never really clicked for me. But again, like they had so many great wrestlers came through there at one point or another, either got to start or went there, kind of to end their careers. So it was just like something always fell short, even though they had great talent.
Yeah, a lot of missed opportunities in the.
I know what it is.
They
didn't have Vince McMahon.
Yeah, exactly. That's probably the big reason right there.
That's what it is.
So my other question for you, Steve, is that we talked about in our first episode some of the arenas that we went to as kids to watch wrestling. I know you live in Jersey now, but you're originally from Brooklyn. Did you go to the Garden a lot? Did you go to other arenas to watch wrestling?
So I went to the Garden. I went to WrestleMania 10, which was great. I don't really remember a lot about it, but I know at the time though I was blown away. I thought it was amazing. I think that was the first big event that I'd ever been to.
Well, you were also 10 years old, so I mean, you were into the foam fingers, the cotton candy.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
you were jacked up to be there. It's like,
oh yeah, it was. I mean, just tremendous. It was great.
Yeah.
And I know it's one of the more highly regarded WrestleManias, at least from early on. And I remember there being good matches. Just I'm thinking back, what was it, 25 years ago? It's a little tough.
94.
Oh yeah.
94.
So 27 years ago.
27, yeah.
Years ago.
Good grief, Charlie Brown.
We're getting old.
But then I had been to a lot of shows because it wasn't not like territories, but kind of similar to like back in the territory days. You get guys who were either has-beens and just doing the circuit, or maybe on loan from WWF, or like we're in between contract or whatever. But like I saw Big Boss Man fight Nails in a school auditorium in Brooklyn.
Okay.
SD Jones was there. I saw at another one, or it might have been the same. I don't think it was the same event, but Superfly Jimmy Snuka.
Nice.
At my high school, before I started going there, they had King Kong Bundy was a main event. And my friend went up to him and challenged him to an arm wrestling match, which he quickly dismissed, laughed at him.
That guy seems like a jerk in real life. I feel like from interviews I've seen of King Kong Bundy.
I heard he was a nice guy. Like he was nice to us.
Okay.
He was very accommodating with the fans. You know, everybody went up to him at the table asking for autographs. Like he was cool. He just wasn't really down to break my friend's arm that day.
Well, obviously.
Yeah.
You know, and I remember I went to Nassau Coliseum or maybe in Jersey. You know, when you're not
I'm a Bruins fan, so I did that.
Yeah. Well, if you're not old enough to drive, you don't really remember where you're going sometimes, especially if you're from the city. Like Long Island and Jersey are kind of interchangeable. So yeah, I went to some of those. And I went to, you know, later on in life, like once I was, you know, probably within the last 5 or 10 years, went to Barclays Center.
Oh, nice. Yeah, I haven't been to one there yet.
I think I saw 2 events there.
Nice.
Yeah. So
Was it pay-per-views or just runs or SmackDown?
Pay-per-views.
Okay.
Nice.
Yeah.
How they have? I don't remember pay-per-view.
There was a SummerSlam.
Oh, SummerSlam.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it was SummerSlam. I remember you telling me you were going to SummerSlam at Barclays. Yeah, that was good.
Did you ever go to events at the Hartford Civic Center?
No.
Never got to Hartford?
Okay. He went to Bridgeport Harbor Yard with me when we were in college, or shortly after college. We went to a Raw there once.
Yeah, I was they had Raws at Bridgeport. I remember that.
Yeah. Yeah, so we've been to one of those together. But
yeah, I grew up in Massachusetts. That's why I remember the Hartford Civic Center.
Okay. Yeah, Sunday Night Heat. That's what I saw at the Nassau Coliseum.
Oh, nice.
It'd be taped on a Tuesday.
Yeah. Yep. Nice Sunday.
Heat.
Good deal.
Yeah.
So, Kyle, would you? I don't know how we're feeling. Are we feeling that we want to get back into the tournament and finish it off, or do we want to go to trivia? How do you feeling?
It's up to you guys. What are you guys thinking? You guys want to see the matchup between Bret Hart and Austin, or you guys want to have your matchup of your own?
Let's do a trivia. I think I'm ready to take on a new challenger here this week. Okay. And then
we can definitely get into that.
I'll slide back into the tournament after that.
Don't forget, I'm throwing out my my rematch clause.
Oh, you don't get a clause. You're not the champion, but I'll give you a rematch.
He's got to win first.
Yeah, that's right.
Well, here's the thing.
That's what I told him.
But if you win,
but if talking about future stuff, bro, that don't start looking down the line, man.
I don't have to give you anything.
Yeah. We're gonna call this the East Rutherford screw job. Is what's happening.
Okay. All right. So Steve, just so you're aware, what we do here is our main focus is from like 85 to 2001. And we try to usually have questions from that time frame, ranging from all 3 of the bigger brands: ECW, WCW, WWF. Sometimes when I'm involved, they just get swayed a little bit more one way or the other, and that may be WWF. But we'll see. I'll try to bring up some variety here. So we'll start off with the first one.
All right, hang on. Just make sure in your chat, Steve, if you open the chat window where it says 2, just pick Kyle's name so that your answers you're going to type your answer just to Kyle.
Yes. Thank you, Steve. Thank you for that.
Let me know once you see that, and then we'll start.
Got it.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So this one's going to be either really easy or really hard for one of you guys. Okay. Or for you guys, I should say. On January 11th, 1993, the first ever telecast of Monday Night Raw was broadcast from the Manhattan Center. What was the main event?
I think I know it.
Okay. Both ready?
Already flaunting the belt.
Gotta flash the gold, get in his head a little bit.
Okay.
Sorry, if you said that I can't see. There's light shining into the.
Okay. Next question. On January 19th, 1991, the WWF presented its annual Royal Rumble event, which, as usual, had some undercard matches. One featured the Big Boss Man against the Barbarian, in a continuation of the Bossman Bobby Heenan feud? How did Heenan ignite this war?
That's a good question.
I'd be 1 for 2.
Okay. Who won the 1998 Royal Rumble? Who won the 1998 Royal Rumble? Okay. Number 4. What kind of match did The Rock and Triple H have at the 1998 SummerSlam?
Oh.
Okay. Debating on which one of these last 2 questions I use here.
You got a couple of choices.
Yeah. Sorry, guys. Okay. Number 5, and the last question, if there is no tie.
Okay.
Who did Triple H wrestle at at the Canadian Stampede?
Taking a shot. That's a guess.
Good questions, Kyle.
Yeah.
Okay. So, the first question was on January 11th, 1993, the first ever telecast of Monday Night Raw was broadcast from the Manhattan Center. What was the main event? Undertaker versus Damien Demento. 1 for Steve.
Did you have a
Steve?
guess?
Which
Yeah, I had to
Other-
get it, but it was wrong.
The guest ring announcer later tonight, then Michaels versus Diesel.
Okay, good guess.
Okay. Second question. On January 19th, 1991, the WWF presented its annual Royal Rumble event, which, as usual, had some undercard matches. One of the bouts featured Bossman against Barbarian and a continuation of a Bossman versus Heenan feud. How did Heenan ignite this war? Continually made jokes about the Bossman's mother.
Dang it. I was going to put that. I was like,
I love
that's
Heenan.
right.
I love
Yeah.
Heenan.
did either get it right?
No.
Oh.
I gotta say I like Steve. Steve's guess with the stole his nightstick and the
I was going to put that.
the stunning Stevie Scales here put questioning Bossman if he was really a cop. So
That is
Does
a-
Mountie do that to a boss man?
What's that? Stole the nightstick?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that was a storyline with the Mountie. So you had a storyline, just the wrong guy.
The shock stick.
The shock stick, yeah.
this one, I was throwing a dog a bone here. I feel like who won the 1998 Royal Rumble? We got Stone Cold Steve Austin. Both get a point there.
Nice.
1-2, 2-1.
He's on the board.
Okay. Now we're going on to a little bit of the harder questions here. Number 4, what kind of match did The Rock and Triple H have at the 1998 SummerSlam?
He better have got this one. He referenced it in his in his bio.
Ladder match.
Both
Right.
got it. Yep.
Yep. So we got 3-2 here. Number
Uh-oh.
5, and the final one. Who did
Hold on,
Triple H wrestle?
was the ladder match for the belt?
Yeah, IC belt.
IC
Okay.
belt.
Oh, right. Okay.
Who did Triple H wrestle at Canadian Stampede? Come on, guys. You know I always tie things back into the show. Corey's boy. Birthday boy.
Oh, was it Mick Foley?
Mick Foley?
Mick Foley, mankind.
I
didn't
thought it was gonna be
remember
like
that.
something like Savio Vega or something like that.
Nah, there wasn't a winner to the match. It just brawled all over the arena throughout the pay-per-view. They just kept
Okay.
fighting and fighting and fighting.
Yeah, I didn't get that.
So
I get-
unfortunately, the Stunning One, he got his lowest score of the year so far, but he
Wow.
retains at 3-2.
What's the bonus question though?
yeah, let's do it
Ask
for
that-
bonus
fun.
ask that
question.
one.
Bonus question is the 1994 SummerSlam had which two wrestlers battling over the Intercontinental title?
Which year?
SummerSlam 94.
94 was
Was that Chicago? Or was that
Right.
95?
Razor and Diesel.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
That was in Chicago, right?
I don't know.
I don't remember
to
where
be
it
honest.
was. I don't remember where that one was.
It
Good
so-
fight.
it sounds like it might have been Chicago.
Good fight there.
Yes.
Yes, that was definitely good.
Very well done. I bow to you. But I am an advocate for a higher power, and I know he could take you down.
Oh man. And
That was in my This Week in Wrestling history. So stay tuned when you watch it back later.
I think
I can go into detail about
we
that.
got a little
Oh,
tease there
yeah. Oh, man.
about something.
A higher
There's a
power.
higher power. There's a higher power who I've been talking to. He's yet to reveal himself, but I don't know. I think he could ace you.
All right. He's lurking in the shadows somewhere. He'll have to come out of the woodworks at some point.
Okay. Interesting, very interesting. But until then, I guess next week, even though he jumped the gun a little bit with it, the Stunning One promised the Fassman another shot at the belt.
Yeah, we'll give the
So,
fast man we'll give him a rematch.
We'll try to figure out some
Is
new
my career on the
questions
line?
Your career's on the line.
here. Yeah,
Like Flair?
that ain't fair to Flair. We got to be fair to the Fassman too.
Don't hinder gender.
So with all that, good. That was fun, guys. Yeah, good little battle, like Steve said. I feel
Yeah,
like
it was
those were
fun.
some of the harder
That was a great
questions that
battle.
we would
Yeah.
have.
Good question.
Yep.
So I just want to say before we get into the next the next part of this King of the Ring pay-per-view, please just check out our social media sites again. The Facebook page is the Golden Attitude Era Podcast, and then the TikTok or TikTok, how I like to refer to it, is at the Golden Attitude Era. And then on YouTube, you find it at the Golden Attitude Era Podcast, or just the Golden Attitude Era. You'll be able to see the 5 episodes, including this one, that will get up there.
Don't forget Instagram too. At the
Oh
Golden
yeah,
Attitude
Instagram.
Era.
You got an Instagram going now?
Yeah.
Okay, what's that
Yep.
one?
Same one as TikTok. At the Golden Attitude Era.
Okay, cool. Thank you for that one. I do always forget Instagram.
Yep.
So with that, I'm gonna let our guest ring announcer lead us into the main event here,
Yeah. Let me share
which
the screen.
is
Let me share
Yeah.
And again, no MySpace.
Yeah.
Tom does not exist anymore, people. Get off MySpace.
Yeah,
We're
stick
not
with-
there.
Stick to
yeah.
the modern.
MySpace is about as old as that joke, Corey. So we're not gonna
But listen,
we're not
people,
gonna use either
people
one
still
of them
keep
anymore.
trying to go there and asking, where's MySpace? It's gone. That's the last
Okay.
time I'm mentioning it. Get off MySpace. And with that, let's get back to ringside for the finals.
So Mr. Castagna, this is where we've left off at our King of the Ring Champions tournament. We've made it to the championship.
All right.
Bret the Hitman Hart versus Stone Cold Steve Austin to see who is the greatest King of the Ring of all time. And we decided we wanted to have a guest ring announcer, kind of like how they do at WrestleMania. There's been Robert Goulet and all sorts of guest ring announcers. So we wanted to bring one in this week. So we're going to throw it over to you to introduce our 2 participants in the King of the Ring Champions Tournament final.
Okay. All right.
Robert Goulet.
No pressure.
Yeah, none whatsoever. Now, this is for the championship, right?
This is for the
Yep.
King of the Ring
This
crown.
this is for the belt.
This is not for the belt, for the King of the Ring crown.
All right, for the King of the Ring.
Winner take all. Winner take all.
Yep.
This contest is scheduled for one fall. There's no time limit. Now coming to the ring, Stone Cold Steve Austin. Dun-na, dun-na, dun-na. Dun-na, dun-na, dun-na.
Nice.
Now entering the ring, the best there is, the best there was, the best there ever will be, the excellence of execution himself, Bret, the Hitman Hart.
All right, that's enough of that.
Bret, the glasses, the glasses.
But
All
You've
right.
never been a glasses guy there, Kyle.
if I had known, I would have figured out how to play both on guitar, and I just would have played on guitar for you guys.
Yeah,
there you
right.
go.
That was
Save
good,
for
though.
next
That
one.
was good. I appreciate it. Good
Thank
effort.
you.
Good effort.
Thank you.
Thanks.
So
All right.
now we got both the participants in the ring. We got Earl Hebner in there doing his little thing.
Oh, we got
you know,
Earl. Okay.
looking about 5'2", if that, on a good day. You know, apologizing to Brad about all the stuff that happened in Montreal. Talking to Austin and say, hey, I won't let him do what Owen did to you at the I believe what was that, SummerSlam, where he broke his neck or something.
SummerSlam.
Yep.
Yep.
So we just give them that little spiel, get them both fired up. And just like you would think with like any other match these guys have, it just starts out like a battle, man. These guys know nothing else but hate each other. And they just bring out the best of each other. They're just swinging back and forth. Bret's knocking him. Austin's coming back with his right. You know how they just do. They just do the whole back and forth like this. And then I think Austin did a little rake of the eyes, right? Gets an advantage of Bret Hart, does his kick, gets him into the ring, the corner there, starts drilling him down. Bret somehow gets to the point where he's like face up to the ceiling, but underneath the bottom rope. And just like in Survivor Series 96, Austin does the old slingshot there, chokes him on the bottom rope. Bret's, I can't breathe. Austin keeps drilling him, you know, just taking complete advantage of him. Till somehow, some way, like he always does, the wily Bret Hart, he wades the storm, just rides it out. Lets Austin make his own mistakes, gets too eager, caught him off guard, gets him with the little heel hook as he rolls out, or a little pick of the leg when he rolls outside to catch his breath. Now Austin's getting pulled out, and they're back to a slugfest, just drilling each other. Remnants of WrestleMania 13, right? They're outside. They got the blue mats down on the ground, old school looking. Not the padded cages either. We're going all the way back. We're going with the steel bars, hearing the noises, because Bret loved to work with those. Similar move is what he was trying to do with Bulldog. He tries jumping off and getting him, but he gets himself caught up again. Now his arm's hurting him. He can't really throw his punch anymore. Austin sees that, and I don't know, would you call him a bad guy? You call him a good guy because you love him when he's a bad guy, but you love him when he's the good guy too, you know? So he just starts taking advantage of it, takes his arm, wraps it around the ring post. Now Bret's really hurting. He sees him, throws him back inside. Bret's just sitting there trying to do anything he can, but Austin at this point is just too much. Overtakes him, gets him back up. He's defeated. Hits him with the stunner. One of the best selling stunners you ever seen in your life. Just folds like a cheap tent. Just goes right down. Austin gets on top of him, gets him with the 1, 2, 3, and finally gets the victory that he never had over Bret Hart, and becomes the king of the kings, the king of the ring champion of the Golden Attitude podcast. And as he said in one of our TikToks that I made today, it's my ring. You know what happens in my ring? What I say goes. So that's what happened here. He took it home, and now he's the new champ.
That's awesome.
Austin 316 says, I just whooped your ass.
That's right. Man, iconic. That's just, I'm excited that Austin got that win over.
He preaches his John 3:16.
Yeah.
Well, Austin 3:16 says, I just whipped your ass.
Glad he finally got that big win over Bret.
Yeah, he been chasing that. He wouldn't have had a full career if he didn't get that one, you know?
Yeah, absolutely.
He was always so close, right there. That Survivor Series 96, man, I still feel like that's a very highly underrated match. I feel like that gets lost.
Oh, yeah.
very much so by WrestleMania 13.
Yep.
But I went back and watched a couple of those matches once I kind of got to the finals a couple days ago and figured out who was going to be there, and just tried to like think about some moves that they did. And that one where he had him underneath the rope and he just slingshot him in there, like that's just like some classic stuff. And then I think he came later in the match with that and just kind of hung him up on the rope as well.
Yep.
So I'm just happy that Austin got the W. I feel like he deserves it, and I don't really see who's much better fitting to be in the finals than those two either.
No, I think that was
Nope.
a perfect ending
Yep.
to a great tournament.
So now we got that out of the way. What I'm going to do next is I'm going to throw it over to the Stunning One here, and we're going to get into our normal regular scheduling programmed here and do the Stunning Stevie Scales Snake Draft.
All right, thanks there, KBT. It's everyone's favorite time of the week, Scales Snake Draft. This week we are keeping with our theme of King of the Ring, and we're going to do something a little different with our Snake Draft with King of the Ring. We're going to go with, I'm calling it the Uncrowned King of the Ring Snake Draft. What we're going to do is, our rules for this are any King of the Ring tournament participant, and I did it from quarterfinals on, and I did it in our same time frame of the first segment, so 85 to 06. We compiled this list of all the people on those tournaments that never won King of the Ring, and we're going to draft them based on people that we think were robbed and maybe should have won King of the Ring at some point in their career, right? That's the point of this. So let me share my screen, and I'll show you guys the draft order, and I'll just do like a few seconds on the draft board so that all of our viewers out there in podcast land can just kind of see what we're working with.
Am I still in my lines?
You guys can see. Oh, there we go.
Gimmick infringement, Fassman.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's major.
Turn it on the fast fee. Can you guys see it?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, leave that up.
Okay. So let me just show this quick. So this is our list we're all working off of. I'm not going to go through all of them. There's way
Yeah,
too
you don't
many,
need-
but you can see the names. There's a lot of big names in here. Some not so big. Iron Mike Sharp. Yeah.
Forgot about him.
Yeah, but a lot of superstars here that deservedly could have easily won a King of the Ring tournament at some point. So I'm going to put this down for now, and I will pull up draft order. So now that we're in week 4, I think, of this snake draft, I'm back to the number 1 pick. Fassman will be 2, KBT will be 3, and then our guest, Steve Castagna, will be the 4th pick and the snake part of the draft.
Stanja.
His favorite. He's out of here. All right. So with that being said, I will begin with the first pick of the Uncrowned King of the Ring draft. Let me move my draft board over to the right here. I got all my notes and my cheat sheets. Kyle's probably not going to be too happy with this, but
You better not, dude.
I'm gonna do it.
I'm going with the bad guy.
Yep.
Wow.
Razor Ramon is my number 1 pick. Razor Ramon was in the 93 and 94 King of the Ring tournaments. He was defeated by the eventual winner in 93, lost to Bret Hart in round 1. And then in 94, he lost to the eventual winner there, Owen Hart. So he lost to both Hart brothers, who went on to win. So Razor Ramon easily could have been a winner. Maybe he should have won it in 95. Who knows? But Razor Ramon is my first pick. So I'm going to throw it to Fassman for the second pick.
Yeah, Razor didn't have the greatest career against the Hart family, did he?
Yeah, he could have done better.
Whether it was in a tournament style or in a championship match, he really didn't have the greatest career.
Yeah,
He knew selling made money.
yeah.
Yeah, but I'm just stating the obvious.
Yep.
All right. With the second pick in the Uncrowned King of the Ring title winner that should have been, the Fassman selects Mankind.
Oh, nice.
I mean, he obviously we all know what kind of a career Mankind had. He really didn't need it, but he was in the finals against Triple H. He put over Triple H like he did a lot. Because Mick Foley would always, getting towards that time of his career, he knew what to do when the wrestling business, and I think Heyman, or it might have been Vince in one of the AEW, sorry, wrong promotion, A&E shows that they just had, which were phenomenal, by the way.
Yeah.
Said when it's time to get back to the business, you get back to the business. So I go with Mankind.
Pick.
It's a solid pick.
KBT, you're on the clock.
Guys. I can't believe you're not going with this guy. He's potentially the greatest in-ring worker of all time. Heartbreak Kid,
Yeah.
Shawn Michaels.
Yeah, I was going between him and Mankind. Good call. I like that.
Any comments? What led you to
I
that?
think I just said enough as it was. Greatest in-ring worker as it is.
He made up for my diatribe.
Yeah. Do you remember how he was in the 95 King of the Ring tournament. Do you remember what happened to him there?
No, but all I remember is white tights and his white pants he was
Had
wearing.
white pants when he had the beard. He had the stubble
Yeah,
going in.
that's all I remember. I was, again, 95. I was 7. So I just remember colors and big people running around.
So he went to a 15-minute draw with Kama. So like what a dud that was. I mean, Mabel won that year, so that was shitty, but
yeah. But didn't he go on to win the title?
I mean, the following year, yeah. This was summer 95.
So he had to get off of that train.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good pick. All right, Mr. Castagna, you're up for 2 in a row.
All right, my first pick, I'm gonna have to go with the linchpin of the WWF and WWE era, the through line that goes from both eras of your podcast, from the Golden Era into the Attitude Era. I'm going with the Dead Man. I'm going with the Undertaker.
Nice pick.
Just like he's a great and unique in-ring performer. Unbelievably agile for a guy his size. Even though he was like kind of slow moving, very charismatic. The guy was around for close to 30 years in the WWF, and this is a title that he should have had at some point, but he didn't need, obviously, because he's so over.
Yeah, good pick. Who's your second one? Let's see.
My second one, going along the lines of our $1,000 champ, a guy who could have an amazing match with a broomstick. I'm going with Mr. Perfect.
Nice.
Good pick. Good pick.
Good pick again, brother.
Amazing in-ring technician. Had great matches. Had kind of not totally separate from the Undertaker in a different way, but had his own brand of charisma that a lot of other people didn't. As a heel, you love to hate him because he was so cocky and arrogant. But like those promos that he did, Perfect Sports way back in the day, throwing a touchdown pass.
Yeah.
Those were fantastic.
The diving, perfect dives.
Yeah.
Yep. Pull shot. The
one with Wade Boggs.
Yep.
Yeah. So yeah, Mr. Perfect.
Good picks. Wow, really good.
Solid picks.
All the top guys are flying off the board here. Kyle, who you got next?
So honestly, I'm gonna go a different route here. I just kind of like hearing him describe wrestlers and everything like that, about charisma, about certain things we liked about him. I was scanning the draft board, and this one comes completely out of left field. But I remember watching this guy on like the videotapes, like that you would get like Fight Fest or Slam Fest and stuff like that, like the VHSs and things. And he popped up several times against Bret Hart, and they were always good matches. But in the back of your head, even as a young kid, you knew he wasn't going to win. And it's Skinner.
Wow.
Skinner used to do some good matches all the time on like those type of things. And the character was just cool. He had the chewing tobacco that he was spitting out. He had the knife. He had the cut up dirty crocodile like outback look, he was just a good character that as a kid he was perfect mid-range level, maybe a little bit lower than that, You know, I enjoyed like I bought into his character as a kid.
That would have been interesting to see Skinner take on the Crown. That would have been pretty cool.
Yeah, just like I said, it's curveball, not somebody most people think of, but somebody like I actually enjoyed when I look back on it. It's like, oh, I remember that guy. He was pretty good.
Yep.
I like it.
Okay. Definitely out of left field.
I remember
Way
him.
out of left field. I never would have gone there, but that's stuff we got to love and expect from the $1,000 champ. Yes, I just called you back your $1,000 champ. You've regained your title. You've regained all your money.
What were you about to say, though, Steve?
You were talking about the tobacco and Skinner. I just remember him wrestling Owen Hart once, and Owen Hart having tobacco all over him, and it was like the most disgusting thing I've ever seen as a 6-year-old or whatever.
That's awesome.
Yeah, nasty.
Yeah.
And those matches were always on like WWF Superstars too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
And that's why I watched a lot of my wrestling growing up.
Yep.
Shout out to the channel that Steven would remember, living in the boroughs of New York City. WWOR.
Well, Channel 9?
Channel 9.
Yeah.
Yep. That's probably where they had all the show. That's probably where they had the wrestling on Channel 9 on Saturday mornings, didn't they?
Probably. I honestly can't remember.
Okay.
I remember the channel number.
But shout out to WWOR. I don't know if it's still in existence. So with my second pick in the Uncrowned King of the Ring Tournament Championship draft, surprised this guy is still on the board. Had some great in the late 90s, early 2000s. He was in the King of the Ring tournament. Rocky, The Rock.
A great one.
Yeah.
A people's champ.
Rocky Maivia.
Yes, Rocky Maivia. But The Rock.
The Rock. Yep.
You don't have to say anything more. We all know what his career has gone on to be.
Yeah, he probably should have. He lost to Shamrock in the finals of '98. Probably should have. I mean, Austin won, Bret Hart won. You know, maybe The Rock.
I mean, he made up for it at
won
Survivor
that.
Series with the screw job of Mankind.
Yeah.
So
All
the Stunning One for 2.
All right, 2. Oh man, there's so many ones left that I want to pick.
I know.
There's so many good guys on this board.
There is.
I'm going to go with my first one is going to be, so this guy was in the 2000 King of the Ring tournament, and he actually lost in the quarterfinals to Val Venus, which was kind of a shocker. I watched that match last night. I was like, oh, that was disappointing. But this guy, he should have been a King of the Ring. I'm going with Eddie Guerrero.
May he rest in peace.
Rest in peace. Eddie Guerrero, phenomenal in-ring competitor, high-flying technician. He could do it. I mean, he could do it. I think he was maybe known as the Mexican Shawn Michaels, as a lot of people referred to him as. Just maybe didn't get the acknowledgement and the respect when he was in his prime and there. But I mean, looking back at him now, just a phenomenal character and wrestler. So would have loved to see him as a King of the Ring.
Well, that would have been perfect.
Yeah. And hilarious on top of it.
Yeah.
I was just thinking, I picture the Crown like this far over on his head somehow. You know what I mean? Like the only swag, like only he can do it. Like the Latino heat where he's shaking like that, like only he can do
or
it.
having the gold Cadillac and having it bouncing up and down.
Yep. That'd been good.
Mamacita.
Yep.
You could even
and Queen China.
Queen China.
That would have been funny.
He could have won by DQ by slamming the chair on the floor and throwing it at the guy.
That's right. That'd have been perfect.
My favorite moment is when he unties his boot against Angle at WrestleMania.
Yep.
That was great.
Yeah.
That was great.
That was at 20 at the Garden, right?
Yeah.
I believe so. That whole
or was that 21 in Hollywood?
No, it was 20. It was at the Garden.
Okay.
Yep.
Steve, before you make your next pick, that WrestleMania and like Eddie Guerrero's match and all that type of stuff, I think if I remember correctly, I was maybe a junior, senior in high school, and that's kind of what got me back into wrestling. Was because The Undertaker came back at WrestleMania 20 to go against Kane, right?
Yep.
That was what got me. I'm like, oh shit, The Undertaker's back. I gotta check this out. You know what I mean? Like it was like that, and then it's like. Then I saw Eddie Guerrero versus Kurt Angle, and then there was another match I can't recall, but Eddie Guerrero is very good, and that little cheating thing that he brought up made me think of the shoe.
Lie, cheat, steal to the top. Lie, cheat, and steal.
Lie, cheat, steal.
What'd you say?
What was the shoe thing? Because I didn't see that match.
So Angle had Eddie Guerrero in an ankle lock, and he kept doing it. Maybe like he got him like 2 times, like really bad. And then the 3rd time, he just like knew he was gonna get in it again. So he untied his boot, basically gave his foot to him. And as he did it, he kind of just set him up, and he got his shoe out. And then I can't remember exactly how he took advantage of it, but he did it like some shiesty thing, got out of it, took advantage of it. It was good.
Yeah,
Yep.
classic. The angle was all befuddled. Yeah, it was perfect.
Corey looks like he's got his pick freaking locked up and loaded here. I'm like wondering.
I'm gonna snipe him. I think.
Are you? What do you think?
I don't know. Maybe not. I'm gonna go. So this guy was only in the inaugural King of the Ring tournament, 1985,
Oh,
you didn't take my
don't
pick.
even.
and he lost. He lost actually in the quarterfinals. He lost to the Iron Sheik, which is respectable. But
Cheeky baby, get it right.
I think that this guy would have been a great King of the Ring because
Ricky
he's
Steamboat. Nope.
one of the greatest pure wrestlers in
Dragon.
wrestling history. Ricky the Dragon Steamboat.
Hey, Steve, who won that year?
Oh, your boy Morocco. Yeah,
Just gonna point that out again.
Yeah.
Just wanna say that one more
Johnny
time.
Morocco,
yeah.
who I, by the way, had number 5 in the rankings.
I
So
appreciate that. Corey.
don't
I
be
appreciate it.
saying that we all put him low. I put
I
him at
appreciate
5.
that, Corey. Thank
You're
you.
welcome, buddy. I did that just for you. Love you, buddy. But no, you didn't steal my pick there, Stunning One.
All right, good.
With my 3rd and final pick in the Uncrowned King of the Ring tournament draft, surprised that this guy never got with as charismatic and great on the mic as he is, and still is
Oh my
in
God.
a rival organization.
Mm.
Shout out to the Ayatollah of rock and roller, Jericho.
There you go. Yeah,
Okay.
good pick.
Okay.
It was that or one other person, and I'm glad I chose Jericho.
So with that, I am very happy this guy's still here. So this is one person I learned about way too late in his career, and I'm mad because every time I go and search for it, I don't know which matches to search for of his in his ECW days, and it's Rob Van Dam. As soon as I saw that dude come to the WWF, I was like, holy shit, this is my dude. I love this guy. Like everything about him, like it was just like this is cool. Like that's the easiest way for me to put it. The guy was cool. Like I'm like, this guy's cool. Everything about him just seems cool. And I kicked myself because like I'll go back and try to watch these Sabu matches or this, that, and the other thing that I hear.
Oh, they
about.
were insane.
And I never know which ones are the good ones. Or if I watch them, all the hype of them don't live up to what I'm expecting. But like I know that I love what he's doing in the WWF. When he got on that Intercontinental run, when he had it a couple times in that championship run, I was all about this dude. And that frog splash, man, that shit definitely hurt him and the opponent.
Oh yeah, what a great frog
Like,
splash.
that hurt both of them.
He sold that so well.
Yeah, every time.
Yeah, but I don't think all of it was selling. I think it was like 50-50. Like, oh my God, I just lost every ounce of wind I have. And I'm done.
He did. He got so
And-
much height. It was crazy.
Yeah, it was awesome. But Rob Van Dam, RVD. That's
You
what I
remember
kinda come up
RVD
with.
from
K,
ECW, right, Steve? Steven?
T.
What was that? What was that? Fast man?
Steven, not you, but
Castagna.
can't stand you. You remember RVD from were you an ECW guy?
I'm sorry, were you talking to me?
Yeah, you.
I don't recognize that name.
Steven.
Yeah, I watched ECW a little bit. I was definitely aware of it. I just like it was one of those like I never really knew when it was on. One of my good friends was
12:30 Saturday nights.
I went to one of the events when ECW first came back. I went in Canada. And there was that match with the zombie when
Oh God.
hit him over the head with the kendo stick. That was hysterical. But yeah, I used to watch it a little bit. I never really got way into it, but because like it same like how we were saying before, WCW kind of fell short. ECW just felt low budget, and it's because it was, but it was just like some crazy stuff. It was just on a different level that I wasn't ready for at first, and then I thought it was pretty cool.
Yeah. Did you go to one of the one night stand pay-per-views at Manhattan Center?
Oh yeah, I went to that one too. Yeah.
Which one? When RVD beat Cena, or the one where Heyman did a shoot on JBL? Or was it the same one?
It was in like 2000.
It may have been the Cena. I think it was the Cena one. I think it was the Cena one you were at. I'm pretty sure I remember you being there.
Yeah, it was a long time ago. I don't remember.
Yeah, but yeah, great show. Great.
He was one that made the sign that said, "If Cena wins, we riot."
Yeah, that was Steve.
Yeah, probably.
All right, last pick.
All
Finish
right.
us off there, big guy.
So Scales took my last pick.
Oh,
I was gonna go with Steamboat because that's a solid pick. I really respect that one. I always thought he was great.
yeah.
And I was gonna say Kane,
Ooh.
but I'm not.
Okay.
Especially because I said Undertaker already, and I don't
Right.
want the two. Like it's a little much, but Kane was a force to be reckoned with.
Yeah.
I'm going with Jake the Snake. Going with Jake
Oh.
My guys, love him.
Yeah.
because I think that I have kind of a trend going with my picks of guys who have a unique type of charisma, and Jake the Snake was the guy where like it wasn't really a stretch of the imagination to believe that he was that guy. Like he was a snake-like guy, it seemed. And like in real life, I don't really know where Jake the Snake ends or really in Smith Jr. begins. But yeah, like his promos, it's like, it was a guy who was on the edge. It was the guy I remember, when he say trust me, it's like it was scary.
Yeah.
And just he's walking around with with Damien and then with the King Cobra.
Yep.
And he had good
Never
matches.
raised his voice. Always talked. Made you listen.
Exactly. Yeah. He was just like, he was a very intimidating guy. The DDT was such an awesome finisher at the time, before it became kind of a mainstream move.
Yep.
But even now you watch it, still looks cooler when he does it.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, just like, and I'm talking about his initial run, not when he came back as the Bible
Yeah.
thump thing.
Yeah.
Talking about him when he was in his prime. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, Jake
80s.
Snake, would have been a great King of the Ring champion.
If we were to do one more round, who would you guys have thought of for a fourth round pick?
Who
We don't have to write it down.
Yeah, who would you have taken, Kane, Steve, or would you have went somewhere else if it wrapped back around another time?
You know what? Just for the sake of being a little different, I'd go Bam Bam.
Okay.
Bam
Okay.
Bam, I think, is an underappreciated talent.
Yeah.
Again, he was a really big guy and really agile. I remember my intro to Bam Bam was the terrible WrestleMania video game for Nintendo. I don't know.
Love that. Not
That game was
terrible.
dreadful.
Love that.
Yeah, it's a classic, but it's one of those like it's so bad it's good.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
But I remember, I was like, why is this guy doing cartwheels? Like everybody else ran. I don't think Andre the Giant ran, but everybody else ran when they got thrown to the ropes, and he was doing cartwheels. And I guess I was just supposed to be showcasing that we have this guy who can move around and like do a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
Again, he's a guy who again, fighting Lawrence Taylor, it was kind of the jumping the shark moment. But he's someone who could have and should have had more mainstream success than he did. And
I agree.
I agree.
and died too young, tragically.
Yeah.
I agree
Yeah.
with that one. On the
What about
same
you, Jam?
on the same kind of line with that, I'm gonna go with the first guy on the list, Ahmed Johnson.
Oh, there you
Like,
go.
Okay.
if he did not get, I listened to something to wrestle with just the other day when I was out walking my dog,
Something to wrestle with.
and they were doing an Ahmed Johnson episode, and they just were talking about how whenever so the first thing they were giving him a push with Farouk so he could learn, and then he got hurt, so they couldn't give him the next step because he was supposed to have a match against the Undertaker for the title.
Yeah.
But then he got hurt, and then he never got the title match. And then they tried bringing him back again for an IC run, got hurt, and then all this type of stuff that that is like the epitome of uncrowned champ, right? Like
Yep.
he had everything kind of going his way. They were trying to set him up as best they could, but every single time it came about, his body broke down. And then after his body broke down, he kind of broke down mentally and didn't want to do it anymore. Just getting a pain in the butt, according to everything else. So some guy that had all the talent and all the opportunities in the world presented to him, and he just kind of fell short and didn't get the crown.
Yeah.
Yep.
So I like
Okay.
Ahmed Johnson. I've always
Okay.
been a fan of him. Visually so impressive.
Yeah. Felt like
Good
it.
pick. Good honorable
House.
pick. Honorable. I'm gonna throw a curveball with who my honorable mention would have been.
Okay.
IRS.
Oh, Mike
Love that
Rotunda.
one.
Yeah. Yeah.
Never. I mean, yeah, he was great as a tag team wrestler, but no one really knew him honestly as a singles wrestler.
Didn't he have? Did he get the IC belt, or did he have a couple matches for it?
He wrestled for it.
Yeah, but nothing. He had a cup of coffee as a singles wrestler, but everybody knew him more with DiBiase and Jimmy Hart and Money Inc.
Yeah.
Well, he actually did have a really good singles career in his territory days. But yeah, you're right with the WWF. Absolutely.
Right. So I mean, it could have been a perfect angle. Like he's like the king of taxes, the king of the tax code. Now he's the king of the ring.
I like that one.
Yep. And finish it off there, Stunning One.
Yeah, I'll go with so many good ones, but
Iron Mike Sharp.
No, yeah, I'm not gonna go with Iron Mike Sharp or Bushwhacker Luke or anything crazy like that. Or Jumpin' Jim. I'm gonna go with the guy that I think he was very good in the ring. The character was way out there, but he would have made the best of being king. Was Gold Dust.
Ooh.
I think that would have been a cool gimmick if Gold Dust was wearing that crown. I think he would have made the best of it. I think it would have been pretty interesting.
Gold Dust with or without. After this, how about this? Gold Dust before or after getting struck by lightning?
Before. Before. I would say Gold Dust with Marlena and like the whole getup, the whole Hollywood.
Yeah, okay.
When he
what do they call him? The androgynous Gold Dust?
Yeah, the androgynous one. Yeah. Yeah, the bizarre one. So that's where I would go. So that's our list.
Okay.
Our uncrowned King of the Ring snake draft. That was pretty awesome. Thank you guys for helping me put together this list, and I think we did a good job.
Let us know who you think what threesome would win a four-way battle.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah,
let us know.
Comment on our post and let us know who had the best.
Right here, number one.
I kind of got to go with our special guest ring announcer.
Yeah, Castaña's is pretty damn good.
His is pretty good. I agree with you on that.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you got Michaels and Van Dam there too. That's
yeah, but Skinner that may have dropped him down. No one remembers Skinner that well.
Counteracts it.
You'd be surprised. Skinner was a heck of a hand.
All right, so that's it. That brings an end to Scale Snake Draft. So I'll throw it back to KVT to send us out of here in a minute. But I just wanted to thank Steve for joining us as our first guest. You did a great job.
Absolutely.
Thank you, Steve.
Yeah,
I know that,
my pleasure.
I know that
you're welcome back anytime.
Yeah, come back anytime, man.
I'll definitely take you up on that.
Steve, for all those out there, Steve is a amazing musician, and you can find him on Instagram. Steve, what is your handle on Instagram?
Steve Cast String Theory.
As Steve Cast String Theory. So look him up on Instagram. I know he just did a intro and outro song for our sister show over there, the Hate to See It, with Mike and Sid. So maybe one day we'll get Steve to record us a wrestling centric intro and outro for our podcast. I think that'd be pretty cool.
That'd be really cool.
Distinguished pleasure.
I still want to know who this higher power that you got, Steve, is to take down the Stunning One.
Oh, he's looming in the shadows somewhere.
Yeah, we'll
find out.
Stunning One, I have to commend you. You've managed to look great so far. Against a bunch of know-nothing jabronis like the $1,000 champ and whatever other jobbers you paraded out in front of us to pad your streak. If you have the testicular fortitude, why don't you give your fans the match they deserve to see and step to me? I'm more savage than Randy, I'm colder than Austin, I'm meaner than Gene, I'm rowdy and raw, and everything in between. The Rev has spoken.
All right, KVT, send us out of here, buddy.
Yep.
So I just want to thank you for joining us, everybody, and our special guest here. It was fun going over the King of the Ring. Hopefully, you found some entertainment in those matches and everything that we had going on with this week in wrestling history, the trivia. We still got the champ. He's still there. He's holding that for me until I can finally get my rematch, because it seems like he's ducking and dodging me, bringing people off the woodwork. bringing college friends back he hasn't spoke to in 20 years. You know, he's doing everything you can do to stay away from me. He got away from me by 0.5 point, I think it was. But
He's like Hogan dodging Flair.
That's right.
Yeah, it's even worse than that. He has the audacity to stay on the show.
Scales.
But anyways,
pose.
yeah, Steve, good win tonight. As always, you know your shit. I'll give you that much. All kidding aside, you as well, Steve. Thank you for bringing it with the competition. Corey, you as always with This Week in Wrestling History. Appreciating those little tidbits. It was cool hearing about the birthdays. Would have never thought about Mick Foley becoming 56. Yeah. So again, we appreciate you guys coming out. Make sure you do check us out at our social media pages. Again, Instagram is the Golden Attitude Era podcast or Golden Attitude Era.
Yep.
So is the TikTok, and Facebook is the Golden Attitude Era podcast. And you can see the videos on YouTube at the Golden Attitude Podcast as well. And again, I'm a tip of the hat to the winner of this year's King of the Ring winner. How do we pronounce it? Winner
Uncrowned
King of the Ring tournament.
Okay, yeah.
Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Yeah.
And remember, when the glass breaks, that means your ass.
So long, everybody.
Have a good one.
Yeah.